Hello, welcome to the library. We're in another room today because it's a bit quieter in here. There's lots of tradesmen making rows on all the houses, all getting their third kitchen in, put in this year or whatever. This video is primarily about breaking sketchbook pages up, particularly big pages, to make them more manageable so that you can take off little bites and not feel overwhelmed by having the whole crazy big page to go at. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It's a pretty quick video, there's nothing fancy about it. So this little walk was early on in the year, and the footage has been languishing in my bath, which is where I keep all my video footage. So even though it's out of season, it's still a nice little stroll and a sketch. So yeah, come along with me on a walk up the Porter Valley, and we'll do some sketching, drink some tea, and wear some ridiculous jumpers. So where we live, we're super lucky because we're quite close to the centre of Sheffield, but we live in the Porter Valley, and out behind our house in the park we have some beautiful woodland and beautiful walks. It's very green, and there's some interesting sort of industrial history and archaeology. At one time there was 14 mills in the valley, all powered by water, for grinding, sharpening, making cutlery, scythes. Pre-industrial revolution, really, when water power was the thing. And there's lots of old industrial fragments lying around areas where there's some old greenhouses, presumably from the 1930s, when the Depression hit and made an awful lot of people in the north of England out of jobs. So there was a campaign to dig your own garden. So there was many campaigns to viable gardening land to produce food, and obviously the Dig for Victory campaign in the Second World War and things like that. It's nice to be so close to the countryside, so close so the kids can see the sheep in the fields, and you get a real sense of the seasonality of the place. So here I'm sitting up by one of the dams. Obviously I've got my obligatory cup of tea out of an old plastic flask. And what I did is I took this big page and I divided it up into sections. I actually did this when I got back, but the first section I decided when I was on location, which was one of the letterbox type areas at the bottom left of the page. Apologies for the sort of shaky footage here. I need to figure out a way of holding my phone or a GoPro or a camera that sort of maybe a chest harness or something would do, but this is if you feel slightly motion sick, I apologise, but you can see what I'm doing is I'm just laying out the sketch pretty simply and putting in a little bit of contrast, a little bit of light and dark. So I go on to add some watercolour to this. I really wanted to get at least one picture done on site, and the dog here, I don't know whether you can see at the end there that I didn't actually have any water with me, so I was using the puddle that was on the bench next to me. So when I got home, I'd taken some reference pictures as I was out on my walk, and when I got home I laid out the actual piece and completed the rest of the drawings, as you can see here, from that walk. In several sessions, I think I did a couple of sessions. So here's some of the greenhouses, and then you can see there's a sort of simplified representation of that there, just in simple black and white. Often for speed, I like working in monochrome. And then again, there was the bench there, and you can see this door is behind somebody's house with a really lovely old stone wall behind it. This looks like an old boiler or something. It's riveted construction, so it's pretty old. And this is what the dog always goes in. She always loves to jump in there. It stinks. Some brickwork details around the edge of the dam there, quite lovely. And then you get to see the whole thing there, and that view down the dam there. So yeah, it's really fun splitting it up like that. It works really well. So yes, that's an easy way to, if you have a really big page and you don't know quite what to do with it, just think of it as like a comic book where you can split it off into different areas to tell slightly different stories, and you can also add text as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's very easy, I think, sometimes to think of sketchbooks as being very pristine little libraries, like a curated gallery of our best work, but it's not like that. It's not a best of collection. This is it's a work in progress. It's actually you at this time as an artist, and at this time as an artist, if you're feeling playful, then play. At this time in your art journey, you want to be investigating stippling or nudes, or stippling nudes. Is that legal? Anyway, yeah, it's where you are at the moment in your art journey. The freer you are to try new things, the freer you are to experiment, to be gestural, to be big and bold, or small and delicate, or however you feel, express yourself on that page. The more freedom you allow yourself, and not only is it more enjoyable, there's less pressure, but you just learn so much faster. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Get stuck in. Cheers, guys.